But tonight, I'd like to introduce you to a couple. Leland and Shannon, will you come up?
Do we need 3 mics?
No, we do not. You don't want to.
No. She'll sing and dance.
It'll be Baby Shark or Bluey.
Dude.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about yourselves. You brought some family with you tonight.
Yeah, so I'm Leland, Shannon. This is Charlotte. She's our daughter, only one and only. We actually do have some family here. I have my sister and brother-in-law, and they have 3 kids, and that's why we're only having 1. So it's a lot for us. We love them to death, though. It's a lot. So believe it or not, my wife is actually a 3rd-generation real estate investor. Her grandfather built a lot of the neighborhood that we currently live in. I knew nothing about real estate until we actually got engaged, and I realized that she actually inherited some properties. And that was a whole conversation with her side of the family because, of course, they thought I was going to take the money and run. I did not. Still around.
That's
and
good.
Yeah, it's very good. And so that was our quote-unquote seed money to get started, and we actually did a 1031 exchange to avoid all the taxes, defer them. And we ended up selling just 1 property and bought 3 at the same time during COVID and had a baby all within 3 months.
Wow.
So this is the property that we're going to talk about. Did you have anything you want to add? Sorry.
No.
That talks about that.
Yeah.
I was like, we've done this a number of times. So if you haven't seen us on one of these case studies, then
Yeah. So this is actually the first multifamily that we did, or excuse me, single family that we did from the 1031 exchange, but it's our very last one, and we went full cycle, so we were 100% out of single family, and I'll get into that as we go into it. So we actually bought it brand new in Fort Worth, so we bought it for $150,000, and it was from a builder, so there was no rehab, nothing that had to be done, went straight conventional into it.
we should add, though, that in getting this house, we actually worked with our LU realtor, and she had sent off a list of houses that were coming into Fort Worth. And so she kept us really informed of what we should be buying, what the market costs were going for. So it wasn't just like we found this randomly. This was very much a part of our plan, which is really key. Like, you need to have a plan going into it, have exactly what it is that you want to achieve, and hit that point with your realtor because they can help you get there with this.
Part of the achieving our goal was we were having a kid. We knew that, again, and so we needed cash flow. So we didn't, yes, we cared about equity capture, but it was not the end goal. Cash flow was because we were both working jobs that I think we were maybe making $35,000 at the time. So we were broke, brand new newlyweds.
So you had some team members helping you out to
Yes.
fine-tune this strategy. All right. Some more pictures. Looks
Yeah,
great.
so it was pretty standard 3-2 or 3-2-1. So 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage. This lot is a massive lot that we didn't even know it until we roll up, and there's a huge 400 foot, or not 400 foot, but a good 137 feet that went around this triangle, and it's all of the lot. And so that completely threw us off. We could actually build a second home on it if we wanted to, but we're not doing that. Nothing fancy, as you can tell.
Yeah, we generally don't build.
Yeah.
Takes too long.
So here are the numbers. Again, like we said, $150,000 purchase price. We had the cash out of pocket's a little high. Don't know why, but out of those 3 properties, we were basically $40,000 from the 1031 for each property. But again, these are the real numbers. We ended up selling this January. Yeah. We sold. No, I'm sorry. It was in November. It was around Thanksgiving. We finally sold it, and like you can see on the equity capture portion, we got very lucky when COVID hit. And that's what allowed all this to happen, the crazy appreciation, and this is what happened with it. The $409 a month, when we actually bought it, we were getting around $500, but when your taxes go up 4,300%, because it was land and then you put the house and the improvement, but it was funny, I still have it somewhere that, you went up this percentage, so.
That's why we teach you to protest those every year. Yeah, keep those things down. Great, yeah. So with that cash out of pocket, because you were able to sell condos, is that right? You were able to use that money, so their cash out of pocket was really minimal, but
Exactly.
Well, and that goes into how also it's really important to understand what you have and stage it properly, because there's a lot of things that go into it. There's taxes that go into it. There's, how can you do this? So it's just, again, having your plan. And I cannot say this enough, how important it is to use your Lifestyles Unlimited mentor. Like they're here for a reason. They know their stuff. It's not saying don't question them or challenge them, but do take weight to their words because they've been there. And you can also see a lot of us that are in the room that have been here for years. And I think we all will say we go to our mentors more often than not at this point. So,
yep, that's what we're here for. Yep. All right. So let's. How's you've told us a little bit. How's
so? Yeah. So again, sold it. You saw the numbers. I'm officially out of single family now. March 15th of 2023, I actually retired completely, and I do real estate full time now. It's completely changed our life. It's what I do. We have now also been able to. Me and my wife bought a 24-unit IRO apartment community, and it's actually in Tennessee. And then I also have done one lead deal in Tennessee as well. And so I am 100% on this real estate train. I love it. It has changed our life. We actually sold our original first house to get money to do all of this. And now we've bought our dream home in June. So it's been amazing on the journey that we've had so far.
That's exciting. Your wife just informed me it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Give me a hand.
And I say that because he retired at 32 and he's 34 today. So he turned 33 a month after he retired. And now he's 34. So to say that you can be any age to do this is true. It's 100% true.
Can you tell us just briefly about these two pictures?
Yeah, so the one on top is the IRO, and it is one long building. It's really difficult to get a picture on it, but yeah, it's 24 units. They're all 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's a nice little property for us. Again,
this was the IRO?
That's the IRO. The one on the bottom is the Knoxville property. That's my lead deal. It's a 26-unit. And I've seen several of my investors in here, and I try to keep them up to date as much as I can. And we're actually, April's been a year since we closed on that, actually. I just realized that.
That's awesome. Congratulations. All right. So, yeah, so it's quite a journey. They started out with some single family. They gained a lot of equity with that, and were able to use that money to go into bigger properties, some apartment complexes on their own, and then also as a lead investor or a syndicator. So that's pretty exciting. Would you have changed anything about that process?
I would have started earlier when I listened to Dell on the radio for about 2 or 3 years, because I probably would have her retired by now, which is now what I'm trying to get to. So.
All right.
Have you seen the hair?
Yeah. Time's
Super
running
old,
out.
right? 34. Ancient.
Yeah. All right. So what are the next things that you're going to do? What are your short-term, long-term goals?
Okay, so next steps for us is to get another IRO property or lead. It will depend on the market. It'll depend on a lot of things by the end of 2024. So ideally, if we can get 1 or 2, awesome. A long-term goal is to, I love that, retire me. I love that for me. But I'll be honest, I'm not actually in a huge rush to retire. I actually love what I do. I'm very good at what I do, and I want to stay in that for a while. But I do love the idea of taking a lot more vacations. So that's definitely long-term goals, eventually to retire. I also think he doesn't put on here, but he has a dream to have a ranch. So that is a true big long-term goal for us. And we know we will get there. It just will be a little bit.
That sounds like fun, but a lot of work.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. All right. So tell us a little bit about your team.
Yeah, so the mentors that we had at the time was Rick Johnson and Lori. I'm not sure if she's still around or not, but anyways, they were great. What's funny is me and Rick got along very well, and Lori and Shannon got along very well. So we actually would call them individually, because Lori and Shannon would just go off on all these different conversations, and me and Rick are just, here it is, here's that, okay, bye. Super quick. But it worked out really great. So yeah, Integrity, Lee, he's been great on my insurance. I literally just email him or text him stuff, and it's done instantaneously. I love it. Carrie with Capital Concepts. He's done 6 or 7 transactions with me, 2 of my personal homes. He's amazing. Super recommend him. The ERG, that was a 1031. Yeah, you really need to trust your exchange if you do an exchange, because whether you realize it or not, technically they can take the money and run. So you better be careful with it. Well, they'll get into that, but yeah, she's amazing. She came to our house during COVID when everything was going crazy and got the deal done for us. So can't say enough about it.
Awesome. Do we have any questions? You guys, we got one over here.
So I actually don't know the answer to this, but how did you find the first Tennessee apartment complex?
Yeah, so
Hold on. The question was, how did you find the first Tennessee complex?
Yeah, so we actually looked in Dallas for almost 18 months to 2 years and couldn't find anything within our price point. And through the Lifestyles Realty Group, they do what are called blasts. And so the agents will send out properties to the group, and you can tag it, and there's a whole process for it so you can get in line and you're not stepping on people's toes. But I actually saw it come out through that and ended up getting it that way. So that's how we found through the agents, through the Lifestyles Realty.
Good question. Any other questions?
There's a few online. Do we want to stick to 2, or are we open to a little bit
We'll
more?
take 2 or 3. Yeah, go ahead.
2 or 3? Okay. The first question being, where did the $105,000 after repair value come from on a new build?
I think that was just the equity capture, roughly.
Just the equity capture?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
The after repair value that showed up on the screen was 150, and that was the
150.
sales price.
That was the actual purchase price.
Purchase
yeah.
price,
That's
yeah.
the original purchase price was the 150, and then the sale I believe was 255.
Yeah,
So
right.
math and
And the next question being, are you managing the small IRO and lead deal remotely, or using a third-party management?
I'll get to it. So with the single families, we actually had 4 at one time. We had another property that was in South Dallas. I learned in single family I am not a good property manager. I suck at it. Lost money doing it that way, actually. That's when I realized I need third-party management. I am a great asset manager. That means I tell them what to go do, how I want it run. I have been implemented that strategy into my multifamily because I'm that guy who will drive literally from Rockwall to Fort Worth, where this was, and I'd be gone 4 or 6 hours on a Saturday taking care of something. Do not work in your business. Work on your business. And being with my properties in Tennessee, it forces me to do that. So that's the answer to the question is I use third-party management, but I have self-managed, and I'm not your guy for that.
Just the last part of that question being, how hard was it to find a third-party management for the small multifamily properties?
So I actually used, I'm not sure if they're vendors or not. I used a previous vendor, I guess, here, and there are tons of them over there. They're part of the vendor program. You can go and look, but I highly recommend reaching out to other people who use them because they may be good, but you may not get along personality-wise with that company, your actual manager, or someone in that office. And that can be a very, very, very big challenge. So you better make sure that they kind of understand how you want things done, not how they do it. And at the end of the day, yes, you're going to have to learn how to work with them, but it's a team effort. It's not a do as I say, this is the law thing, because again, that's part of the reason the education is you learn very quickly. It's much better with a team mindset than I know everything, because if you think you know everything, you're already upside down.
That's good, good. Is there anything you would tell any first-timers here tonight that you've gained?
I would say don't be afraid of what you hear, of like in the sense of all the numbers and things they're going to share. I know it can be really intimidating sitting in a room where they're talking about things that you probably don't know a whole lot about, but that's why you're here. So take your time, get to know the information, take the time to also network. There's a big piece of why this works as well as it does is because you get to know people. So take that time. A lot of us, I would say all of us, are really open about our journeys. We're really open about our books. We're happy to talk about that kind of stuff. So please don't be afraid to come up to a lot of the members that you see here tonight are because we've been in your shoes. We know what it's like to sit here and not know a whole lot about any of this, but clearly it's worked out well for us. So I just encourage you to take that opportunity and learn with an open mind. There's a lot of smart people in this room, so take it.
I'll add to that. So my thing that I always tell people is don't be afraid to drink the Kool-Aid. Yes, it seems like a scam once you're doing all that. I brought my wife to the 2-day, and she was like, this is a scam. You're just trying to get me out of, all my properties, yada, yada, yada. And then by lunchtime on the first day, she was like, let's sell everything. Let's go do this. And I'm like, okay, pump the brakes, lady. But no, the biggest thing is if you do go through all of this, you're only going to get out of it whatever you put into it. So I've been able to do most of this because I used to get up at 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and go over all the online courses. Then I'd come home, go to work, come home, go over 2 more hours. And I did that for a year and a half. So, whatever you put in, you're going to get out of it. But you have to initiate the effort. If you don't put in the effort and just magically expect it to happen, doesn't work like that.
Okay, you don't need to spend, I will put this, you don't need to spend 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. I will say make it work for your life. It just, for us, it's one of those, we go in and we go hard. And that's like, literally, like if we don't learn these things and do it well, then we're gonna lose everything we have, which was a lot of money, so.
Yep, you can do it. All right, anything else?
You brought your family, so you must believe it.
I absolutely do. Yeah. So like I said, this is the first time we've been members, I guess, since 2017, 2018, something like that. And they've seen kind of we've been doing on the side, and they've, given us our space and all of that. And so, yeah, I've got family here now, and I bring them here because I want them to hear it from other people, not from me, because you know how a brother and sister relationship is. What we say is, I'll go to jail for you, but I am not getting you a glass of water. And so I'm going to let her and them see it and all that. But yeah, I fully support everything here, and I love it. It's changed my life.
Awesome. All right, let's give them a round of applause.
So much.